Battlefield 2042 specialists are getting a big change in the later half of Season 3, alongside UI improvements to help enforce class gameplay, as well as the restructuring of the class loadouts. Now, we all know that specialists in 2042 have been under a lot of scrutiny since the launch of the game, with the majority of players wanting the traditional class system that we had in previous Battlefield titles. Now, let's go ahead and jump into the details of EA's recently posted core feedback for specialists. Now, I'm sure everyone has been wondering, or at least attempting to guess, where the specialists would go, which classes. I'm sure a few people have had ideas and have talked about where they think they should go, but now we do know where they're going to go and what DICE has in store for us. Now on the screen, we have the specialists and their respective classes, with Boris, Crawford, and Liz becoming part of the engineer class, which we all should know is your anti-vehicle class. Casper, Pike, and Rao coming in as the Recon class, which in 2042 is classified as spotting and targeting. Angel, Irish, and Falk are heading up the support class, which is known, for its healing, ammo, and the medic who runs by you and doesn't revive you. You all know who you are. And last but not least, you have your assault class, which is your main anti-infantry class, which is headed up by Dozer, McKay, and Sundance. Now, EA did say that these are subject to change based off of player feedback, as there are a few changes coming to some of the specialists, and two of those specialists who are getting changes with this update when it launches will be Irish and Crawford. Crawford will be losing his cash point trait as it conflicted with his gameplay behavior between using his mounted Vulcan in an offensive manner and being tasked to revive other players. I always felt like it was counterintuitive. It really didn't balance him because it was either like you could play him as a hold down the fort or push and use his minigun as support, or you could stay back and revive and give, a bonus to, your teammates when you revive them. So I didn't really think it was a good mix for him, or balance, as you would say. But the good news is that according to EA and DICE, they will be giving Crawford a new trait, which obviously has not been announced yet since it's still being in development. And they're hoping that this change of Crawford will give him a more clear purpose on the battlefield. But I'm really excited to see what his new trait would be, what changes they would do to him, and where it would go, because I feel like the character or the specialist has a lot of potential, and I really hope it's for the best. Now, moving on to Irish, which is probably by far my favorite specialist in the game. Not only because I use them all the time, because, I kind of like the character, the background, kind of like nostalgic BF4 days. It sucks sometimes. But him and his shoot-down sentinel have probably saved me more times than I can count. Like, it's ridiculous to me how many times that thing has saved my life. I think I have a few videos of it saving my life, including a friend's life. But Irish is going to be moved to the support class. Obviously he's going to be able to revive teammates, but they made that change because they feel like he can use his APS 36 shoot down sentinel to help protect his infantry. And also, I think my favorite feature that you're probably going to see a lot more people use that play Irish is that you're going to be able to use the deployable cover, not only for cover, but to throw it down and revive fallen teammates and have the ability to protect yourself. So incorporate that with like a smoke grenade, throwing smoke, running over there, popping the shield down, reviving. You get kind of like a double protection to get out of there. And if you really wanted to, you could team up with another Irish, throw down the shoot down sentinel. One revives, and then, you don't have to worry about grenade spam. And another thing is that him being moved to the support role, he is going to be inheriting Irish's Crawford's cash point trait, which is awesome. I think the class system, the way it seems like it's going to set up with the characters, is going in the right direction. And I can't wait to see Irish do more than what he already does. Now, obviously, before I move on to the next topic, which I believe was going to be talking about the new UI for the class loadouts, EA and DICE have received feedback on another specialist, which is Rao. Some people say they think he would fit as an engineer, mainly because he is used now in-game in the current way the game plays to take down vehicles. He's really good at taking down or keeping helicopters at bay. You hack them, and I know now people have learned to flare rate before they get hacked, but they still stay out of the fight a little longer, so by the time they come back, you can do it all over again. But they have said that the team's intent is to keep Rao as a recon, to be a disruptor, and to target, be as like a target designator, as he can still be effective against vehicles through having access to C5. So I'm assuming they're expecting him to run up on a tank with C5, which you're probably going to see a lot of it when this launches. Going to hack you, and then he's going to try to sprint to you. I know some people now, they run the EMP grenade, and they'll throw it at your vehicle, and then they'll sprint at you, and you have to get out of there until you can shoot again. But they did say that they will attempt to introduce a new UI indicator signaling when a target's been hacked, so the whole team will see. So if you're running a Stinger, and you'll be able to shoot down the helicopter or attempt to. It's one of those changes that I think is going to do well. I'm sure a lot of people who play Rao is going to be a little annoyed not having the capability of destroying vehicles outside of C5, so I don't know. I think it's a nice little balance and stuff like that. And as long as you have a good team, I think he can still be effective as a specialist. So hopefully it all goes well with him. I think one of the main things that we should jump onto before this video ends is the upcoming restructuring of the class loadouts. Gadgets have now been organized by class, starting with the equipment that will always be available are the med pen for the assault class, the repair tool for the engineer, which is awesome. We'll finally get engineers to repair your shit again. The support will be getting the defibrillator, and the recon, of course, will be getting the insurgent beacon. Now, this stuff will always be available in case anybody missed that. And next we'll follow up with the class gadgets, which your assault will get your smoke launcher, the armor plates, C5, and a claymore. The engineer will be getting anti-tank mines, the recoilless M5, the anti-air missile, and the javelin, which is making an appearance, and of course an EOD bot. I don't know how many times I was killed by one of those in Battlefield 3. Anyway, support is getting obviously the ammo crate, medical crate, the smoke launcher, and the claymore. Now, support getting ammo and medical is going to be a little iffy for me because I really don't know if people are going to be... You're going to see like a lot of diversity with it. I feel like a lot of people who run those now are kind of doing it for themselves. I like to make sure I have ammo. I like to make sure I'm healed. We don't know. Who knows? And then moving on to the last one, which would be the recon. They are going to be getting the tugs, the tracer dart gun, awesome, claymore, a C5, and proximity sensors. Oh, and let me not forget the SOFLAM, which a lot of people use that, surprisingly. And the throwables are coming in as this. The assault's getting frag, smoke grenade, concussion grenade, and incendiary grenade. And it looks like the engineer, support, and recon are all getting, access to the same grenade, frag, smoke, and EMP, and incendiary. So it looks like the only difference in the frag grenades are the assaults with the concussion, which, not bad, I guess one can say. So now that classes are being restructured, I know there's been a lot of push for weapon restrictions to be class locked. And if you were one of the few calling for it, unfortunately, that is something that's not coming to Battlefield 2042. Instead, DICE is adding a new feature called the Weapon Class Proficiencies. And pretty much what I understand of it is that it seems like your weapon will be getting some sort of bonus or a perk that is specific to the class that you are playing. So an example that I read was, imagine if you're playing Recon and you're using a sniper rifle, you would most likely be able to hold your breath longer than any other classes. So it's one of those things that's interesting because it seems like they want to push for you to use class-specific weapons without actually having weapon restrictions. So I've always been in between. I want weapon restrictions, but then I like being able to use a certain class with whatever weapon. But I know a lot of people don't share that idea with me, so it makes me wonder, how are they going to implement this, and how well is the community going to receive it? It's something that's, kind of in between for me. Now, the last thing I'm going to mention before I do end this video, because I am running out of time, is the UI. And this is going to be a quick one. The UI in-game, so when you're looking at what class, what gun you want to pick, it's been completely changed. And also in the main menu, the collection menu has been changed. It's easier to enforce class gameplay. So it's going to pretty much help you figure out things, customize it a little bit better, your classes and your specialists. So hopefully it's not terrible, and I do hope that it works out for the best. I do know that 2042 has had a rough launch, one of the worst launches in, I don't know, gaming history for a video game. And its first year was plagued with delays. You had Season 1 being delayed, you know, and there was a lot of stuff that we were promised that we just didn't get. And recently we have had some promising updates that have improved the quality of the game. Now let's hope it continues. And I am excited for this upcoming class system. It might launch in Season 3. It might launch towards the end of it. I did read that it might launch before if they're happy with where it's at. So let me know down in the comments below what you guys think of this upcoming specialist update and what you guys would do to change it and what you guys would like to see in the game. I hope you all have enjoyed this video. With that being said, I hope you guys take care and have a wonderful day.